Onward, Mandalorians, to the Forge. I'm Nate, and today let's look at The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7, The Spies. In this episode, Bo-Katan unites the Mandalorian tribes to retake Mandalore, but Moff Gideon plans to eliminate them and wipe the Mandalorian people out once and for all. Written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Episode 7 was released on April 12, 2023 on Disney+. The episode starts on Coruscant, where Elia Kane notifies Moff Gideon that a pirate attack on Navarro was thwarted by a combined group of Mandalorians led by Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. Gideon notes that it makes no sense that the Children of the Watch and the Night Owls would ever work together. At Gideon's base, he enters his holovid conference room, where several other officers call in. In the meeting are a few key figures of note. First off is Commandant Brendol Hux, the father of General Armitage Hux from the sequel trilogy. But the more exciting character in the room is Captain Pellaeon, who was first introduced into the Star Wars universe in the Timothy Zahn book Heir to the Empire as Grand Admiral Thrawn's right-hand man. Pellaeon tries to convince the group that they need to be united and that Thrawn will return soon. But Gideon argues that Thrawn has yet to show himself and is therefore weak. The group needs a new leader to bring them together. Most of the other officers agree with him, but they can't wait around for the mysterious Thrawn to show up. They need action now. One of the officers accuses Gideon of hoarding resources and asking for more than what he needs. Gideon drops the information that a combined group of Mandalorians have intentions of retaking Mandalore. This worries the attendants, as a Mandalorian resurgence could thwart their plans to retake the galaxy. The group agrees to give Gideon what he has requested. In Episode 5, we were introduced to a live-action version of Zeb, and many of us assumed that it was a nod to the eventual introduction of the crew of the Ghost to live action. With the mention of Thrawn here, we know that he is coming. And in fact, during the recent Star Wars celebration, we did find out that Thrawn and most of the Star Wars Rebels heroes will be in the upcoming Ahsoka series. On Navarro, the Night Elves arrive with their fleet of commandeered Imperial warships and craft. The two groups of Mandalorians meet and decide to forget their differences to attain their common goal of retaking Mandalore. Greef Karga invites Din and Grogu to his office, where he introduces IG-12 to them. The Anzellans stripped IG-11 of his memory card and turned the carcass into an exoskeleton for Grogu. Din objects, saying that Grogu is too young for heavy equipment, but Grogu pushes back. The Anzellans create a button using IG-11's vocal unit, which allows the controller, Grogu, to say yes or no, but nothing more. Grogu then walks around the office, nearly knocking over Karga's golden bust of himself. On the way back to the Mandalorian camp, Grogu overuses the yes button and gets used to his new toy by using it to commandeer food in the market. Back at the camp, the two groups commiserate, and soon they are on their way to Mandalore. With a runtime of around 40 minutes, the episode is packed with a lot of story. It flows well, and the heroes get to the objective without haste, but it does feel like the episode is an overstuffed burrito bursting at the seams. With the overarching theme of the season being redemption, nothing screams redemption more than a Mandalorian raiding party storming the surface of Mandalore, hell-bent on retaking their home world. It's all hands on deck, and even Grogu gets into the action. As the action unfolds, though, it's readily apparent that someone must die. Redemption without cost means nothing. Someone has to pay ultimate sacrifice for the group to find restoration. When the raiding party arrives on Mandalore, they encounter a rogue group of Mandalorians who have been surviving on the planet since the Purge. They are loyal to Lady Bo-Katan. The ragtag group of survivors lead their new friends to the Great Forge. As I've stated before, the Star Wars universe is inundated with religious references. The title of this episode is The Spies. In the opening scene, we are given a picture of a spy, Elia Kane. However, I think that this is a deception. I think that the plural spies that Jon Favreau is referring to is the group of Mandalorians led by Din and Bo. This is a reference to the biblical spies that Moses and Joshua send into the Promised Land to scope it out. Clearly, the group of Mandalorians that Din and Bo are leading is not the whole of the Mandalorian people, but a small representation of them. They are going in to find the Great Forge and see if the planet is ready to be retaken. As the group makes their way across the surface of the planet, they get to know each other. Din tells Bo that he serves her. The dark saber means nothing to him or the Children of the Watch, but honor does, as does loyalty and character. All of these things are essential to any warrior code that exists. With the Mandalorian culture being a warrior culture to its core, these values are what give this show its heart and soul. Though the show has seen some lower ratings this season, one of the reasons why this series is so popular is that it shows a character who not only has character, but is in the throes of developing his character and that of the people around him. These types of people are magnetic, but this season has lost some of that luster, and therefore has taken hits in the ratings as a result. While Paz Vizsla and Axe Woves play a tabletop strategy game, the two get into an argument that turns physical rather quickly. Everyone watches, out of the Mandalorian tradition, to let the fight reach its natural end, but Grogu intercedes as he repeatedly hits his no button. And what would a Mandalorian roadshow be without a monster to defeat? As they near the Great Forge, a large beast awakens from the surface to attack them. They all flee and soon find the forge, but their moment of remembrance is interrupted when a horde of Imperial troopers with jetpacks arrive to take them out. A gunfight ensues and the Mandalorian war party is soon chasing the troopers into the caves. Axe Woves jets into space on a solo mission to recover his cruiser and return to the surface with reinforcements. The chase ends at an Imperial base where Din is cut off from the rest of the group and captured. Gideon shows up and taunts the group. He states that he has upgraded the Dark Trooper armor with Beskar and put himself in the suits. Bo challenges him and he demands she return the Dark Saber to him. She then uses the Dark Saber to cut a hole in the blast door to escape. Gideon opens the other blast door as his Dark Troopers engage the group. Paz Vizsla lays down a barrage of cover fire so the group can escape through the hole. Paz then closes the last blast door, separating him from Bo. He tells her to escape. Paz Vizsla then runs his gun until it burns red and no longer can shoot. He then engages the remaining troopers in hand-to-hand combat. With all the troopers dead, 3 Praetorian guards arrive, and they take Paz Vizsla out, leaving him lifeless on the deck. Overall, I thought this episode was what we've been waiting for. An action-packed adventure into the heart of what it means to be a Mandalorian, and therefore what it means to be a warrior. And the re-emergence of Moff Gideon was epic. I also like the references to Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I'm looking forward to him being in the Ahsoka series. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content and the deeper discussion into the themes found in Star Wars, please hit the like button and subscribe to keep me in your feed.